Hey game designers, in this video we're going to cover how to use the myBackground script. So what we're going to do is go ahead and open up GameFroot and we're going to go ahead and create a brand new um, game. Okay. We're going to click on Let's Go to download the default template. And now we're going to put in our own background. So we're going to click on Add New Media. We're going to click on Upload Media. And now we're going to find our game background. Now for this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and go to Google Classroom now. Under the My Background script, I provided the script, the properties, and the full scene. So we're going to click on the full scene to download it. You will see here that there's no download button, but if you click on the triple dot here and click on Open in New Window, it will now open a version that you can download by clicking this button right here. And you can see now that my scene has been downloaded into my computer. So now I'm going to go ahead and go back to GameFroot. We're going to click on Upload Image. And we're going to go find this inside our Downloads folder. So let's go ahead and put this by date. And there we go. So here is my frozen full scene. I'm going to go ahead and click on Open. I'm going to click on Save. And if you did it correctly, you should be able to see the frozen background inside the miscellaneous section near the bottom of your media tab. And there it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and clean up my workspace a little bit by closing this tutorial here, moving my layer windows over. I'm going to click on scene number 2, where the default game exists, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit. Use my pan tool. Okay, so I'm going to replace this background here with my background. Okay, so I'm going to use my select tool here and just delete the background. But before I delete it, let's actually move our scene on top and just see what it looks like. So you can see here that my scene is much, much larger in detail than the simple background that the game provided. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag it on our scene here. I'm going to make sure that's in the correct layer. I'm going to click on the background layer, and I'm going to go ahead and drag our scene on top. Okay. Now if I zoom out, you can see that it's very, very large. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale it down to about the same size as the other background. So I'm going to go ahead and go here and make it 50% and 50% or so. And it looks like it's still a little bit too large. So I'm going to go 40% on the X scale and 40% on the Y scale. And now we're pretty close to where we need to be. So let's just stick at 40% for now. Okay. And I'm going to try to move it to the corner here. Okay. And let's go ahead and hit play and see what happens. So you can see here that it does not act like a normal background because it doesn't have any properties. And what you'll notice that you can actually push it because it's just an object in the game and doesn't, kind of act like the background script that we have back there. So we're going to try first, we'll quickly see if we can apply the same script that's on this background. So this background has a background script. Ours does not have any script. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Code section and look for the background script that's made inside the kit. And I can find it right here. You simply click it, go over here and click on this. And now these two objects have the same background script. So now that they have the same background script, I'm going to delete this background real quickly by clicking on it and hitting the delete button. And I'm going to go to this background and place it on the upper left and then hit play and see if it now acts like the other background. And you can see here that I have an issue. I don't even see my background, like it doesn't exist, right? So what's going on? Why isn't it showing up? Okay, You can see here that I placed it correctly, but I don't see it at all. So maybe something to do with this position, right? It's kind of largely negative. Let's see if I bring it back to 0, 0 and 0, 0. You can see that it's kind of like on the lower left here when I put it to 0, 0. So when I hit play, I still don't see the background. And that's probably because when you put it to 0, 0, the background stays right here and it's not over here. So basically, this script that's on this background does not work with um, our custom backgrounds. So the script that's pre-made does not work. So what we're going to do now is we're going to left click on this and go ahead and remove the script. So it does not have a script anymore. And we're going to go ahead and move it back to the upper left hand corner here. It's not going to matter at the end of the day, but we'll just put it back over here. And we're going to have to apply our own background script. So to apply our own background script, we're going to click on here and we're going to click on add script, right? And we're going to go ahead and add our own scripts. So if you go back to our Google Classroom, and you can see here that I have a myBackground script. So you're going to go ahead and open up the file. It's going to have this whole bunch of text, and all you have to do is just hit Control A to select everything, or you can just right click and go to, or triple click to click on everything. And we're going to go ahead and copy it, or Control C. We're going to go back to our GameFroot here. We're going to go to the mouse wheel on the top, and we're going to import a script. So once we have the import script window open, we're going to click here, and we're going to paste it by hitting Control V, and it should look something like this, right? And then you're going to click on import. Once you import it, we can kind of zoom out, kind of see what the code looks like. It should look something like this, like on my screen right now. And we're going to go ahead and rename it my background script. I'm just going to call it my background. And then that makes it different than the one that's already there. And we're going to go ahead and click on play. Click save. And we're going to save the script, call it my background here. And you can see now that we have our own custom script. However, the issue remains that it isn't exactly where we want it. It's kind of like we don't see the moon up here. So there are still some issues. So we're going to go ahead and fix that by adding properties so that we can move our background anywhere we want on our map. So we're going to go back here. We're going to go to the our Google Classroom, and you can see here that there are some things. And I basically gave you guys a custom offset X, make the default value 0, and we're going to turn on custom offset Y and set the value equal to 0. So let's go ahead and go back to our GameFroot here. We're going to click on the mouse wheel and we're going to do the script properties. Okay, basically not the camera offset. If you scroll down here, you see the custom offset X and custom offset Y. We click on these to activate it, meaning that it's now public and we can see it inside the editor window. And we're going to keep the values 0 and 0. So we're going to hit done here. And then we're going to hit play. We're going to save it. We're going to go ahead and actually see that, we have the properties here, but we haven't used it yet. So we're just going to go ahead and click that to save, but we're going to click the back button here. And now you can see under the properties window, the custom offset X and the custom offset Y. So basically when we were looking at the picture, it was kind of in the middle right here, right? Which is what we want. We want it centered on the middle. But now if you want to change some part of the scene, we could go, okay, maybe I want the moon to be showing. So I'm going to change the Y either up or down. So let's go ahead and see if positive Y makes it go 100 pixels up or 100 pixels down. So let's just go ahead and type in 100 and see if our scene goes down, and we can see the moon a little bit better. And you can see here that it's kind of going the wrong way. So this is the bottom, and I want to go the reverse way. So I'm going to go negative 100 here, so that maybe we can kind of center it around the moon. Hit play. So you can see now that I'm starting to see the moon, which is what I wanted. So maybe a little bit more. Let's go negative 150. And of course, you can play with these numbers and customize it the way that you want. So you can get the scene exactly where you want it. You can see here that there's a slight too much here. So maybe I'll go 100 and negative 135, 15 pixels less. And now we have our background in our game centered the way that we want it. Now, obviously, you could choose to scale this a little bit differently, and yours would look a little bit different than mine, but that's okay. But now we get full customization on where we want it to look and what offset we can change the scale if we want. Like, for example, if I change this to negative 35 and 35, now it's going to be a little bit smaller. We might get more of the scene. So let's go ahead and hit play now and see if it looks a little bit better. So you can see here that I made it smaller. It's too small now, right? So negative 35 cuts off a little bit of the scene here. So I probably need to go back to like maybe 38 or 38. Again, this is just for you guys to play with, kind of figure out where you want your scene to be exactly panned. You can see here that this is a little bit still too small. So actually, it looks like negative 40 is just perfect. Because you do want to give yourself a little bit of a bleed. So it looks like 40% and 40% looks just about right to kind of maximize the width and length of our scene. Okay, and that's all, folks. Go ahead and submit this when you're ready. Um, and go ahead and take a screenshot of this and send it to me inside of Google Classroom.